darling, if you got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? I'll be here till the end of time. So you got to let me know. Is Oregon gonna beat Michigan this weekend? All right, week 10. Michigan is 5-3 and unranked. They're ranked number 20 in the resume ranking. If you have watched that, go ahead and check it out if you have not. Michigan is unranked versus the number 1 team in the AP poll. I think next week or the week after, the college football playoff ranking comes out. So we're getting close. Oregon is 8-0. This game is on CBS in Ann Arbor. Oregon is favored by 14.5 points. No statistic in this game says Michigan is going to win. It comes down to scheme in this game for Michigan, doesn't it? Michigan usually is not good versus a number 1 team. It's usually Ohio State, though. First time Oregon is number 1 in Ann Arbor. Let's see. Oregon has won the last 2 meetings and has the largest margin of victory, 39-7 in 2007. But Michigan still leads this series 3-2 all time. The way Oregon is rolling along this year, a win versus Michigan in Ann Arbor will go a long way for them. Michigan is still number 1 all time in wins. Number 3 now. They were number 1 after the national championship victory last season in win percentage, but they are number 3 now in that category. Michigan is, but number 2 all time in national championships, which they have 12, which is good for second behind Alabama. I still have nightmares about Dennis Dixon. I do, from Oregon running that score up 39-7 versus Michigan. After Michigan lost to Appalachian State, they softened us up for you guys. But this is a whole new, different game. Orgy is apparently off limits. We cannot have an orgy. So we're going to start with Oregon's offense versus Michigan's defense. Oregon's offense is getting 35 points per game, 467 yards per game, 300 yards passing, which is not a good sign versus a Wink Martindale defense this year, and 167 rushing yards per game, so they are effective in both areas. Michigan, on the other hand, is scoring as much as they're giving up, 21.5 points per game. Yeah. Yards per game, defensively, they're giving up 330, the most in years. Points per game, or passing yards per game, 229. That's not a good omen for Dillon Gabriel in this offense. Rushing yards per game, 101 Michigan is giving up. Now, after Michigan State ran up and down the field versus this defense, Michigan's offense, we'll talk about that later, but Oregon's offense versus Michigan's defense. At quarterback, Dillon Gabriel is a senior. He transferred in. He's only 76% for 296 yards per game this season. That's a 9.4 average per completion. He has 18 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Gabriel has 97 rushing yards as well. That culminated in 5 rushing touchdowns this season, but he has been sacked 10 times. In the preseason, I told you about the laundry list of offensive linemen that Oregon had, and it's paying off. This is probably why Oregon is undefeated still. Plus, running back is still good. But I tell you what, Dante Moore, their backup quarterback, could be Michigan's starter right now this year. He's from Michigan. He should be in Michigan right now, but he's not. He's the backup for Oregon. Now they have a couple running backs. Jordan James is a junior. 136 carries for 800 yards. 5.9 average. 8 touchdowns rushing. He has 13 catches for 90 yards, which is a 6.9 average per reception this season. At running back as well, Noah Whittington is a junior. 61 carries for 270 yards, 4.5 average, 2 rushing touchdowns, 14 receptions for 86 yards, a 6.1 average. He has 2 touchdowns receiving as well out of the backfield. At tight end, you got a couple. Terrence Ferguson, a 20 catch person, 321 yards, 16 average. And then Kenyon Sadiq, 15 catches, 158 yards, 13.2 yard average between their tight ends. Between their tight ends, they have no touchdowns. So I expect them to try to get them a touchdown. Watch out, Houseman and the other guy, the transfer in, who's been pretty good so far from Maryland. What's the guy's name? Damn it. Escaping my mind. Anyway, for Michigan. All right. 3 wide receivers are elite for this program as well. Tez Johnson is a senior. He has 63 catches this season for 638 yards, a 10.1 average. And he has 8 receiving touchdowns. He doesn't have any runs yet. So watch out, Michigan, for him on an end around or some kind of a run. Because this guy is a speedster on the outside. All right. Evan Stewart is a junior with 28 catches for 446 yards, 15.9 average. He has 3 receiving touchdowns. And then Trayshawn Holden is a senior, 22 catches for 313 yards, a 14.2 average for him own self. 3 wide receivers, 4 if you count 5 if you count the tight ends, are averaging over 10 yards per catch. Trayshawn Holden is averaging 14.2. He has 3 receiving touchdowns, and he is the guy that does have a 21-yard carry on this team, so watch out. I expect more wide receiver runs, but I guess you haven't had to do that yet. You've played some good teams, Boise State, Ohio State. You haven't had to utilize your wide receivers in alternate ways. And I expect Michigan would, if Will Johnson starts, they may force you to run the ball a little bit more. All right. You are going up against a defense that has baffled me. Hopefully, like I said, Will Johnson is ready to go because he will be needed. Yeah. There's no one like him. There's no one like Will Johnson. So hopefully he's ready to go. Hopefully Josiah Stewart makes his presence felt as well. There is no stopping Oregon. But can you slow them down, Wink? Hopefully, Wink has a good scheme for the talent that Michigan has here on defense. Martindale is Michigan's defensive coordinator, and it is up to him. The task is on him. No home runs. Keep this offense in front. Make them drive the ball. And maybe they make a mistake or two as they're driving. And maybe they kick field goals instead of touchdowns. That's what Michigan's defense needs to do. All right. Michigan's defense is full of talent capable of slowing down Oregon. So can Michigan's offense take advantage? Boy, Oregon's defense is really good. Davis Warren and Alex Orji are combining, at least they did versus Michigan State, to beat them. Hopefully Orji comes in and passes well after Warren does the same thing. Warren has to pass the ball to open up the run, is what Sherrone Moore wants, apparently. I say run to open the pass. They're passing to open up the run. I don't know what else to say other than Dante Moore would have started here again. This offense is going against Dan Lanning's defense, who is a defensive guru. Won the national title as a defensive coordinator at Georgia. So he's very familiar with Michigan. Beat them handily. Michigan's ground game has to be effective to open up the pass game, in my opinion, and I would have pointed to Mullings, but Michigan State stuffed him. They knew exactly what was going to happen when he got the ball, and they put it down. And Michigan doesn't seem to want to be great in the run game. They want to be modern. I ask why, when Alabama has Milroe and they decided to just run every time and beat the living hell out of Missouri, why can't we do that versus Oregon? Why couldn't we? Why couldn't we do that versus Washington and Illinois? Why didn't we do that? That's not what we wanted to do, apparently. This has to be a total team effort to pull off the upset for Michigan. And I don't know if that is possible versus the players that Oregon has on defense. I don't. At linebacker, Bryce Boettcher leads the team with 46 tackles, 1 sack, 3 pass breakups, and 1 interception. Tysheem Johnson has 39 tackles and 2 interceptions at defensive back. And then back to linebacker, Tatum Tuioti has 32 tackles, 3 sacks, and 1 pass breakup. And then back to defensive back. Brandon Johnson has 31 tackles, 4 pass breakups, and an interception. It's going to be hard. The linebackers and defensive backs will keep our pass game in check, I promise. With Kobe Savage, Jeff Bassa, and Devin Jackson as well back there. So Michigan has a chance in its versus Oregon's defensive line. Derek Harmon has 27 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 pass breakup, and 2 forced fumbles. Matayo Uiagalelei has 24 tackles, 5.5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. Defensive end Jordan Burch has 19 tackles, 5 sacks, and 3 pass breakups, and a fumble recovery. And then defensive lineman Jamari Caldwell has 17 tackles, a pass breakup, and a forced fumble. So, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Michigan. Kurt Campbell and Wink Martindale will have to have their best play calling efforts on both offense and defense in this game. They need to put these players in a great position for Michigan to win. The talent is there. It's been there all season. They haven't used it properly yet. We'll see if they can versus the number one team. I doubt it. Here's the prediction. I think Michigan can make a game out of this by limiting Oregon's offense. But by the fourth quarter, the dams will break. And my dams will be said. Damn this, damn that. The other thing. I will swear by the end of this game, Oregon is going to win. My prediction is Oregon wins 31-20 in this game. I hope people step up, and I hope that I am wrong. Like the video, share, subscribe. You know, that's my prediction. Michigan's going to lose, but go blue anyway. Well, there's other sports out there that I can watch, and go check out the Michigan Sports Report if you haven't already. I've done the second episode earlier today. I fit in the resume rankings, the Michigan Sports Report, and this preview all here on Monday night for all of you to free up myself really going forward this week. My picks are terrible, but I will do a video on Friday with the top 12 in my picks. So stay tuned for that. And then a reaction of this game will be coming out Saturday after the conclusion. So like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Go blue. Thank you, everybody. Comment down below. Do you think Michigan can win, and how? What do they have to do? Let me know. Let the coaches know. Thank you, everybody. Go blue.